Yo, what is up, my golden boys and girls? Chandler here, and today I want to do a little quick, small little lesson video for you guys, and this is going to be on shapes. Now, you see, what's so important about shapes? Well, there are certain shapes that are good, and there are certain shapes that are bad. Like, it really but in bursts, like, pretty much any shape can really work so long as it has the proper burst resistance to handle with that shape. And even then, certain shapes are either too round or too rugged to really work. And basically, let's say I have Strike God Valkyrie's lair here. Now, this would be classified as a triangle because, you know, it has 3 points, but also because if you put your fingers around all the blades, and it would probably make a triangular shape. Well, that's how I do it. And then you have layers such as Deep Chaos, which would be classified as, well, a circle. Now, you may think, oh, but Chandler, there's this gap here, so it's not a complete circle, but it's the basic premise of the shape. Then you have layers like, I don't know if I have it on me, but I want to use it as an example, which are layers that are a lot harder to tell. Now, Neptune, I think, yeah, it's also a circle. All right, yeah. Shoot. Dark Death Scyther, circle. Kaiser Kirby, alright, Guardian Kirbyus, would be classified as a triangle, or maybe even a circle, I don't know. But then there are some that are, like, really, really obvious, like Maximum Gruda is a circle. Nightmare Longinus would actually, I wouldn't know what to classify this one as. I think I would classify it as a rectangle, because it's a very kind of rectangular shape, almost square. But I'd say it's got some circular edges, so I'd call it like either a circle or a semicircle. I don't know. I don't know the full classifications of shape. Then you would have Apocalypse, which is a complete rectangle. Now, oval could also be it, but since the edges here are so flat, I would consider that a rectangle. Twin Nemesis would be considered an oval because it's got a lot of curves on it instead of just blunt, flat edges going down. Storm Pegasus, you could classify it as a triangle, but this layer is so round, I would classify it as a circle. Bloody Longinus, you would classify as a diamond or square. And basically, like, back in Dual Layer, shape was very important. Psychic Phantom here is actually, you would think it's a circle, but it's actually a square, more square shape, because it kind of has it's got flat edges here, and it's got flat edges here, so it's more of a square than an actual, circle. And then you have, like, more unusual shapes. Like, Excalibur would be considered a diamond, because more or less, if you couldn't classify it as a square, I mean, you probably could. Like this, it's definitely a square at this shape, but diamond is more fitting since it does have that point right at the front. Wyvern, you would probably classify as a circle. It's basically, I'm just kind of going over the shapes for, like, the first half of the video. Vice Leopard would be considered probably a rectangle, but not a very good one. So yeah, shapes. Beyblades, of course, come in all shapes and sizes. Everything's more different than everything else. Shapes are weird, shapes are different, and sometimes, like, and one of the, I forgot to go over stars. Stars are also a shape. And all these shapes have a different place in how they work. And of course, you have bays that are really hard to classify. I would say the earlier stamina types for Dual Layer had very weird shapes. I would classify them both as squares on the most part, but Jormungand feels more like a weird rectangle. But alright, let me get into the details. So, basically, I'm going to say this, squares, triangles, and rectangles, and ovals. So, squares, rectangles, and triangles. I gotta find a Valkyrie or something. Yeah, I'll use Brave. all have a recoil-heavy shape, because if you look at a triangle, you can get hit here, you can get hit here, you can get hit here, you can get here. There's a lot of places to get hit. On a rectangle, you have those big blunt edges that can do a lot of damage. Ovals, you have the same thing, except it's a lot more rounded. Nemesis has contact points for good smash, and then Phantom's also a square, but it does have high recoil points on the ends of the edges. Basically, any Beyblade with a design where there's a corner on it. And also, I would actually consider Spriggan Requiem a square. And then you have circles. You could probably classify Arc Bahamut as a circle, because it's got a more circular shape. Nightmare Longinus would probably be considered an oval. Let me do this. I'm going to try and categorize all of these and just kind of explain how they... And you'll start to see a pattern. You'll really start to see a pattern. Also, stars are a shape, and you'll understand stars aren't really too good. Stars are pretty bad in shape. And this just applies to the basic Beyblade logic. Don't take this anything seriously, because we all probably know this meta normally. Kronos would be classified as a circle. I could get a lot of hate for this video. I could get a lot of praise for this video. It really just depends on how it's received. Fafnir could actually be classified as a triangle. It's got a more triangular shape. I don't know what to classify Apollo's as. Apollo, it's weird. It's definitely not a square. It's not. I think it's like a hexagon, and I don't think we have many shapes that are like hexagons. So, yeah, this is gonna sit aside. I don't know if I find another. Oh wait, Poison Hydra's a hexagon. Yeah, Poison Hydra is a hexagon. Variant. Oh, this is First Uranus. First Uranus would probably classify as oval. This would classify as oval. I don't know about any rectangles. This is rectangle. And then you have, I would also probably, is this rectangle? I would say it's a rectangle. I'd say it's rectangle. It might be a square, but that's, hang on. I think it's, like, rectangular, in a way. Diamond is gonna be another shape that I'll move everything aside for this, because this is gonna be a short video of me just going over shapes and how they work, and you'll start to see kind of a pattern going with these shapes. I'm pretty sure you're already starting to see that pattern, which it's not a hard pattern to spot. This would probably go with square. This would also go with square. This would go with triangle. This would go with square. This is a tough one to classify. You could classify it as triangle or circle, really. It's kind of an in-between. But the main focus is it has 3 main points, so it's kind of triangular. Ashura would classify as a circle. Yeah. Let's put them. I'm going to try to take up all the space I can. Let's put stars and hexagons here. Aegis, is it a hexagon? Yeah, Aegis is also a hexagon. True. Nova Neptune, probably also a hexagon. Gigant Gaia. This would probably be classified. I don't know how to classify this one. Circular, but it has these points. Feels oval. I would put it with oval. I could be totally wrong. I'm not gonna trust it. I'm gonna trust it just as much as I trust myself. You get out of here. No. I'm trying to find another rectangle for you guys. Archer Hercules would classify as a rectangle, wouldn't it? Actually. No, yeah, Archer Hercules would classify as a rectangle. I gotta find my Archer. I'm trying to think here. Rectangle. Star shape. would be definitely Diabolos, 100%. And then yeah, Lucifer would actually, I'll put variant Lucifer with the hexagons because it's definitely hexagonal. I would call it pentagon shape because it's 5-pointed. Yeah, this wouldn't classify as a star. This would classify as a circle. Because you gotta look at the edges. If the edges are rounded off perfectly, it's a circle. Oh, this is a star. This would definitely count as a star or a pentagon. Okay, and then there's like an entirely different category for uneven shapes. Like, these are like shapes you can't really classify because they're so uneven. Like, most of the Dark Death Scyther is kind of a circle. I would have to draw their outlines out on paper to kind of classify the edges. What am I missing? I'm missing, oval? Yeah, no, it's solvable. Well, I was looking for Archer, wasn't I? Yeah. Archer, Hercules. Yeah, Archer, Hercules is a shape. It's a rectangle. An oval would be... I'm trying to look here, because there's not many ovals to go off of. I don't know any other... Oh, Spriggan. Spriggan Spread Fusion. And then star. There's gotta be one other star. Who would it gonna be? Helios Volcano. I'm gonna be lazy on this one. Yeah, so basically you guys can see I've classified them in shapes, circles, rectangles, stars, all that stuff. So let's start off with circles, and you can probably already tell what's going on with circles, is that their shapes are very, very, very focused on defense. Now, the reason why a lot of, like, if anything is kind of round, like, I could even say world is also classified as a circle. And it's because round and Perfect Phoenix, everything. If it's round, it's really going to be good at deflecting attacks. Because if you get hit here, you're going to just kind of parry it or deflect it. Which makes these shapes very good for defense and stamina combinations, respectively. Which is why you see, like, Kronos, which used to be a top-tier defense type. Chaos, which used to be top-tier. Bahamut, which used to be high-tier. Garuda, which used to be top-tier. And Bushin Ashura. Bushin Ashura is just Bushin Ashura. So I'm gonna put them back how they were. Why did I put Bushin Ashura here? Who cares? Triangles. I was lazy. I put another Fafnir here. I could have put, like, Ragnar. Actually, I'll take out Wizard and I'll put, Clyde Ragnarok. So, triangles. You could already tell triangles are definitely a very attack-orientated shape, though a lot of stamina types borrow that kind of property. Triangle really depends on how big the contact points are to really be effective. Like, Fafnir has 3 points for spin stealing. Trident has 3, they don't even do anything. Ragnarok has 3 wings. I mean, it's a pretty versatile shape, and Kirbyus is, like, almost circular, but could be classified as a triangle, but I'd still say it's a circle. But yeah, no, basically, these shapes are definitely very, very different because... yeah, triangles is a very versatile shape for Beyblade as a whole. Alright, we got rectangles now. What's special about rectangles? Well, you can already see it's a pretty good shape for attack. It's like a subclass of an oval, except it's much more focused on, like, flatter points. But you can see Hercules got kind of an oval shape, or a rectangle shape when spinning, but I feel like the bows absorb enough. I think they absorb some impact when spinning fast that it doesn't really die as fast. So, yeah. Apocalypse, pretty good at attacking. Leopard, what is it? Achilles is eh. But, yeah. A decent just shape. It's just not used a lot. Now, ovals are another story entirely. Ovals, I remember... if you guys don't remember back in Metal Fight, oval used to be, like, the best shape in the game. If you were even slightly an oval, you were pretty dang good. AKA Flash Sagittario. But basically, the oval shape is definitely very good for offense. First Uranus here doesn't really utilize it because of the massive chassis, so it can be thrown out of the question. But I'd say a Beyblade like, say, yeah, Super Hyperion can be a good substitute here. Because Super Hyperion's got like this big oval shape and this big chassis that also accompanies the oval, making it very suitable for attack. Spriggan had pretty good attack back in the day. Nemesis is still top tier Unlimited, and Nightmare is also top tier. Probably just because of these big, massive blades. But oval, this thing good just because it's an oval. And it's a pretty good shape. I'm sorry, it's hard to find, like, consistent examples for these. Alright, squares and diamonds. So squares can be very good for stamina. But they have to have the right teeth for it to work. As you can see here, Psychic Phantom has a square shape, but it has considerably... probably the second worst teeth in... the worst teeth in the dual air system, and the second worst teeth overall, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Deep Chaos has... No, Arc Bahamut has the worst teeth. Or, no, Garuda. Okay, I don't know. There's some pretty bad teeth for circles, dude. For circular shapes. And, I mean, I can say if that thing had good teeth, it'd be good. But you can also see, like, Spriggan Requiem has a very square shape, making it very, very good for... spin steel, because these flat edges get a lot more contact that allows it to use the rubber to grip and gain more spin, which makes it a pretty versatile option. And yeah, the problem is the rubber will get discolored a little bit over time. You can see this one here is discoloring a little bit, so it's, yeah, it just happens. But yeah, also, yeah, I have two Spriggan. Actually, I think I have a third somewhere. Where's my third? My old third. There's the old third. Hee. All TT Spriggan Requiems. Yeah. That's a flex. Alright. Excalibur, top tier stationary attacker, or I think he's outclassed now, but in limited. But you can see it's a pretty good shape for attack. I mean, you got open edges here, which really deal some damage, but square is a pretty good shape because it has these edges they can catch on, which can do a decent amount of KO attack. Longinus, just good same spin overall. It's really just because it has this much smash attack in it, and it really also matters about the gaps. But if you have an overall shape, it can definitely carry your Beyblade a little bit. Another good option for a square attack is definitely Legends Spriggan. I do not have stock, sadly. If I did, I'd do a video on all the Spriggans, but I don't have such privilege. But... you can see the shape here. This used to be top tier, and you can already see in the left spin, it just does, ooh. That's a big recoil point, and that does actually kill this Beyblade a lot. But Legend Spriggan actually has a lot of good right spin because of these points here and just the overall jaggedness of the layer, which really shows if you have tiny gaps, you can really do a lot of damage, which is what Seek Excalibur kind of shows you. So I'll leave them here, too. Stars. Okay, stars are another story. Stars are just a really, really awkward shape because you have 5 blades, and it's bordering the area where if you have 5 blades that you're gonna kind of screw yourself up a little bit. Now, you can see Curse here, but the real, like, they're not all really that good. None of them are really good. Curse is, like, the best one here, and stars are just not a good overall shape. I haven't really seen a good star-shaped layer. I think there might be at least... Amaterios is okay. Shadow Amaterios is a good star layer, but it's banned now. Thank you, Thank you, not TT. Thank you, WBO. Finally, something good you've done. But, yeah, it's not a consistent shape. It's bordering the lines of too many blades to make it good for defense and too little blades to make it good for attack. Sadly, none of these are really that good because of their shape. Then we get on to, like, probably the worst shape in the game. I think Orb Aegis being the only one here who actually has seen competitive time. Which is, well, I mean, it's also a hexagon. So, yeah, actually, there's quite a few other hexagons that are actually pretty good shapes. So we have, of course, our hexagons. And, yes, you can see I threw an Acid Anubis. No, wait, whoa, you're a circle. You do not count. I just realized you're a circle. That's your whole gimmick. Oh, God. I almost just consider that a hexagon. But you can see the shape here is really wonky. Like, if you have 6 blades, unless you're, like, really focused... Well, Orbegus is kind of a circle, but we'll let it slide. Unless you're, like, Orbegus, where you have a pretty much more rounded version of that shape, you can do good. But, like, you look at Hydra, No, I'm not going to use Lucifer as an example, because Lucifers are also kind of rounded. But if you look at Hydra and this, you can see that the blades here are just spaced so badly that if you hit here, you're just going to lose all of that momentum. And I never actually pointed this out, but Poison actually has this little rubber area here that I think acts kind of like a burst stopper, like on Judgment, but that could just be me. This frame needs a clean. I'm going to go do that later today, or tonight. And then you have, of course, your Apollos, and you can already tell, lots and lots of recoil on this thing. Not enough to be good for attack, but not enough to be good for stamina. And yeah, so there and so forth. Basically, I could, you know what? This is also could be considered a hexagon, or is this hexagons? Or yeah, this is a hexagon. And I mean, because it has these other points, but still, it's a good shape because it's very recoil heavy. Basically, you need to have, if you want to be good for attack in any shape, you got to have a lot of recoil on that shape. And if you want to be good for defense, you got to have a lot more close together blades for it to really work. Which is pretty much a given for most of the bays on this entire list, because the shapes are stupid. I don't want to say Beyblade is necessarily just kind of, oh, if you're not a circle, you're not good. But that's kind of how the defense meta works. Like, if you're focused on circle, like, I mean, look at Hell Salamander. Okay, I'm gonna use, I forgot Hell Salamander could be Hex Pentagon. But, yeah, I could also switch to a shape more similar to a circle, which makes it like, okay, yeah, that's stupid. Which is why no one really used the 5-blade mode. If you did, I would say you're a Giga Chad, but it's not really good. It's not good. If you want to know the classifications of Rage Longinus, I'd probably put it in oval, because this shape is very focused on an oval, kind of, yeah. Yeah, I would put that with oval. Oh, whoa, 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 do not fall, my legendary camera. Did anything break off of it? I hope to God not. Alright, there we go. We're all good, all good. But yeah, basically that kind of just sums up this video. I mean, the thing with shapes is I've been rambling about, oh, how this is good, how this is shaped like this, and it makes this layer good. None of the parts on these matter. None of the parts on it really matter. Like, the part shape, if it lines up with the layer, it's pretty dang good on it. But if it's not lining up with the overall shape, then it's going to be a bit awkward. Of course, this is, but, I mean, of course, sometimes it weighs a lot, so they're going to use that on it. But, like, back in the day, you were, like, seeing people pairing Victory Valkyrie with Magnum for attack to be focused into one point. Chozi Valkyrie was basically, Chozi Valkyrie here was basically useless without the Zenith disc. So, basically, you could only use, like, Zenith or Blitz because it lined up and it enhanced its attack power. But that's another story. And, like, others are eh. I mean, if you're going with a circular shape, it'd be nice just to go finish it off with, like, a circular shape. Like, I have a Perfect Phoenix combo here. This is just what I keep on my Perfect Phoenix, but you can see that I kept the kind of jagged circular theme with the bump frame, making an absolute tank. And also, tell me if that does not look pretty. But, yeah, basically, it's just, I focus on a theme with this combo, and this is pretty dang good, too, like, for its shape, which is awesome. But yeah, and then, like, certain bays, just, they don't follow the shaping rules, and they just look really, really awkward without that, like, shaping. Like, if you look at Drago Valkyrie here, it's an oval. It's 100% an oval. I could have used Judgment. That would be a prime example. It's a very oval layer. But you look at the disc, and it's, like, it's a triangle, and I'm like, that's so awkward. Like, I mean, if it's a definitive shape, like a focused shape, it's going to be awkward, but if it's like, it's just kind of a more circular part, it's going to be fine. Like, I got to figure out an example here. Okay, basically, screw triangles. Triangles are, like, they only work on other triangles. They don't look good on any other shape. Like, Hollow Death Scyther has a triangle. I know it's kind of Death Scyther style, but like it's just it doesn't line up anywhere. I'm a very big fiend for things lining up. I'm a fiend for symmetry. And I will always be a fiend for symmetry, so if I see something unbalanced, I'm like, oh, that looks pretty cool, but is it symmetrical? Which is probably why I like Regalia Genesis and Galaxy Zoo so much. No, but like, seriously, though? These are like two of my favorites. And Zeus is a square, Regalia is a rectangle. Or not a rectangle, it's actually, no, Apocalypse is more of a rectangle, this is more of an oval. But let me talk about this. Let me talk about this real quick. This might be something worth your time, guys. Guess why? You see, if I add the Big Bang armor, it becomes a very weird shape, and I don't know how to describe this shape. I would say it's much more of a probably a circle or maybe a square, somewhere around there. But yeah. It's really like sometimes shapes are hard to spot, sometimes they're easier to spot, sometimes they're borderline circular, so you can't really get a good idea of how it's shaped. And then just it's like you would say, oh hey, yeah, this one's a rectangle, so this is probably a rectangle. This is actually a square. Very, very aggro looking square, very angry square. This would probably be classified as a circle because there's such little gaps around the gaps are so small that it would probably fit into the circular category. Which really shows how the spacing of the blades can really amplify a certain aspect of your Beyblade, which is very, very nice. But yeah, basically, yeah, it's weird. Just shapes are weird in Beyblade because like, a certain shape will be really good on something, and then it will be really bad on something else. It's really up to you finding out what is good. Like, you would look at Lucifer the End, you'd say, oh yeah, that has 3 points as a triangle. No, dumbass, it's a circle. Also, shoot, I actually really shouldn't, I gotta look into the monetization laws, because I can get myself monetized right now. YouTube, please. But yeah, no, this is something that you need to focus on, basically. For layers, I would need, if you're looking at, like, if you're trying to beat your friends, say, you want to make a good combo to kind of wreck your friends in for fun, but you don't know what to use, and you don't know how to line things up. Like, I will probably do an entire video on weight distribution in the future, but for now, we're just going to look at shapes, and that's going to probably conclude this competitive lesson, because it is, like, 10 o'clock, and I need to get to bed because I am sleepy and I got school tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I mean today, because this video will probably not be uploaded by tonight. And it may even be Tuesday, I don't know. I bet you for you guys it's probably Monday, though. But yeah, no, shapes is a very interesting topic. There's a lot of different shapes. There are some shapes that are harder to identify, like, I want to say, like, alright, yeah, no, I talked about hard to identify shapes. Alright, let's do a little quiz in the comment section. Alright. This is gonna be fun. What shape do you think Cyclone Ragnarok will classify as? Leave that in the comment section below. Alright? Hope you guys have your answers, because, this might shock you a little bit. You probably are guessing, oh yeah, there's only 2 options, but yeah. I'm pretty sure it's obvious, but I want to see how well you guys know. Is it a circle, a triangle, a rectangle, an oval, a square, a pentagon, or a hexagon? Answer that in the comment section below. First person to get it right gets a shout-out. No, I'm dead serious. I will actually give you guys a shout-out if you guys can name the shape of Cyclone Ragnarok, because I don't even know at this point. I'll probably ask my friend Fried Pasta. He knows a lot more about, like, I'm sure he knows more about this stuff than I do. But, yeah. And so, yeah, this concludes this Beyblade lesson. I think, comment what you guys want to learn about next, whether it be destabilization, destabilization, weight distribution, gimmicks. Gimmicks sounds like a fun thing to talk about. But yeah. What would this be classified as? I don't know. I'm just kind of looking here. But yeah, we're at 30 minutes, so I'm going to probably end this video off here, guys. I hope you guys at least learn something or understand what I'm trying to explain here. Like, good for stamina on most parts. Pretty versatile. Usually using for attack. Pretty much always using for attack. Weird but versatile. Don't use. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all have an awesome day. Stay safe. Stay awesome. Join that Discord server. Link in the description below. I want to get it active again. It's kind of dying, so let's get some more activity on there. I frankly don't care too much about it anymore, but I'm sure I will during the summertime because I got school to focus on, and then once summer comes up, I'm going to be busy as hell. But yeah, have an awesome day. Stay safe. Stay awesome. Yeah, and... Ow! Beyblade.